Some of you have been wondering why we call ourselves the 4byfarm, and I hope this video explains why. What's up, everybody? It's Lance here. I'm just checking on the boat. We've had gale force winds for about a week straight and no foreseeable weather window for our planned boat trip. I've been hustling in the shop. I'm on the edge of burnout, and I'm gonna go unload the skiff because we've got a little bit of a break in the wind. I'll show you how the boat's going. I started stripping the bow out. I'm gonna do a slight renovation. It's actually pretty nice today. I think we'll be able to unload all the scrap here. This is actually totally boatable. It's really not bad for our boat, but where we were hoping to go to, it won't be boatable. Not in this weather. Well, she still floats. That's good. Let's see if we can unload all this shit. So we've been talking about doing this since we got the boat. Just hasn't really ended up as a priority, but we had evidence of a mouse. So as usual, I got pretty carried away. So there used to be a cabinet here. We pulled that out, pulled all the carpet off the walls. There's another cabinet here. There's a bunch of trim panels and stuff up there blocking the anchor locker. Next, I'm going to pull all this carpet off the ceiling. And then we're ready to clean, sand, paint, and rebuild. Actually, this is coming out too. We're going to put that over here. Just make a little more useful space. And I don't want our head of the bed under that hatch because it gets condensation sometimes and drips right on our pillows. It's kind of funny how they build boats back in the 80s. It's like they didn't consider it to rain, for one. There's just no design for rain runoff. And this window here was exposed in the bedroom, but on the opposite side, it was in a cupboard and it's blocked off. So now I got to figure out how to pull that thing off of there, which I think it's stapled, so that'll be fun. Okay, so our dock is really steep to get down. We're a big staircase and way up there. So there's a boat launch around the corner. I'm gonna take the skiff to the boat launch. First, I gotta go bring my truck to the boat launch and then walk all the way back here because I'm not carrying all that shit up this hill. All right, sorry guys, I've just got the cell phone cam with me today. Got the truck loaded and the skiff hasn't quite floated away. So we're gonna go put that back and maybe go home, take a break. Like I said, I'm pretty burnt out. Been giving her for about a week and a half. Yeah. Okay, so I think today I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a homestead tour. You've all seen the dock quite a bit and the boat. When I get up these stairs, catch my breath. Got a long walk back to the truck, and I'll show you guys around a little bit. So behind me, this is our family camping spot. So when our family comes visit, this is kind of the best seat in the house. They got ocean over here, kind of protected by the northwest. We got a little camper done up there too for friends. All right, so you can kind of see behind me where that campsite is. It's way down there. Been walking for a bit. I'll show you guys my shop. I'm sure some of you are wondering how we managed to survive out here. And it's a lot of work. Fortunately, I work in the shop and I have a couple long-term projects that I'm able to just kind of pick at as the customers afford and as I have time, which looks like these. Here's one client project. Obviously, it's a long ways away from done, but it now runs. It's got a fully built 12-valve Cummins in it. We've got airbag suspension in the rear. These are 40-inch tires, 4-link suspension, beefy rock sliders, and it's even got a fancy NP205 with all the billet goods, and one of Northwest Fab's black boxes in there as well. We fully rebuilt the transmission, and we're currently working on the interior. It's got a lot of wiring to be done, aftermarket gauges. There was an old immobilizer that had a bunch of wire taps and bad connections. We're redoing all that. So this one's got a Mishimoto 2nd gen intercooler. They're rated for about 100 PSI of boost, and just way more flow over a 1st gen one. And then this is the fun part. Huge shout out to my clients. They're all awesome. None of them are really in a hurry, and they just kind of trust me to do my thing. Been doing this stuff my whole career, so I've earned a bit of a reputation that just lets me work on toys out in the middle of the woods. Gotta love it. So this building behind me was here originally when Chelsea's parents bought this property. So yes, I live on my in-laws' land, and I love it, honestly. We have a lot of fun here. Pretty small community out here, so it's actually nice to be surrounded by family. Chelsea grew up in this house for, I don't know, 12 years or something, and we met in Nanaimo, and she took me out here to meet her parents. I fell in love with the place, and now my shop is under the house, which we're going in next. All right, so it's a shit show in here pretty much all the time. I took about 1.5 years off of work while we built our cabin, and we had to put concrete down in here and obviously set up, move my tools, get my life together. So this is where we're at. It's a slow process. And oddly enough, you guys are probably gonna wonder why my broom's upside down in my jack handle. That's my scarecrow. We got barn swallows here, and I think we got a nest on this light right up here from last year, and I'm not having it again. They shit on everything, and they dive me all day. But for whatever reason, this broom completely stops them from coming into the shop, which is just too funny. I think they're living up here somewhere in the rafters. Yeah. Customer buggy behind me. Let's get into it. I'll show you what's going on there. All right, here's the big girl. This is, I believe, a 1975 Land Cruiser FJ40, originally anyway. It is very customized. There is nothing left of an FJ40 aside from that modified hood, the cowl, and the windshield frame. Even the tub back here is all aluminum custom. We do have factory doors, but it's questionable how often they'll be mounted. So, what the hell is this? The customer's criteria was he wants to be able to drive over a forestry gate. So this thing has 4-wheel steering. So we got double-ended hydraulic ram. This was all custom machine clevis ends. We went with 2-inch quarter wall DOM and 1.25-inch Heim joints for the steering on this thing. Typically you'd see like a 7/8 joint on that, or 3/4, which is pretty small for these big tires. These are 49-inch tires. So we're starting to play around on the interior. I've got to do a transmission tunnel. This whole seat bracket system needs to be removable. Transmission transfer case comes out through the top. So as you can see, this has been a really long process. I started this back when I worked at Northwest Fab, and she got a little rusty in storage with the client, and we picked back up a few years later. We got a goat-built adjustable column. We'll have a disconnectable steering wheel. We just ordered headsets, comms, all that stuff. We've got a Holly display with the Terminator X system, wiring harness, and a Switch Pro 12 gang system. And we've got full hydraulic steering in the front as well, same system. We're running dual pumps. We're gonna run the CBR style pump for the front steering, and the other pump, they're a little bit lesser quality. We're gonna run that for the rear and the Hydro Boost braking. So when you're steering the front, it won't affect your brakes, and when you're doing your brakes, it won't affect your front steering. There's a ton of work that goes into this radiator. I had to weld all this stuff on here, new fittings, we went AN hoses. Just that is a ton of work. So this buggy, I'm hoping to be drivable next summer. Customer's hoping for completion next fall. We have a lot of work to do. I've got 3 more tubes of tubing laying here. At least 2 of those will probably be going on here still. Got a bunch of reinforcement to do up in the wheel well here. We got to support the inner cage. There's a bunch on the front too. We're gonna have probably a tube come from this internal cage down, tie into the frame. Cab's got to come off soon. We got to weld all the fucking everything. So I think the only thing I didn't mention, which is probably pretty obvious for a lot of you truck guys, is it's got an LS in it. It's a 6-liter LQ4, I believe, bone stock with some headers and a tune on the Holly Terminator X. So we're gonna run the stock motor for now. There's a very good chance this is gonna get some horsepower upgrades once it's all running and all the bugs worked out. And yeah, there's always bugs to work out. When you build a truck from the ground up, you have to test it, tune it, fix it, drive it. There's a lot to it. It's not just build a truck and give it to the customer. It never works that way. Okay, and this leaves me to the final client project on my list. And this might seem like a lot, but to be honest, I'm super relieved. I'm actually caught up with every client in the shop right now. That's not always typical. A lot of times I'm just playing catch up around here. Sometimes these guys send me a whack of cash and then say, get it done. Let's show you this third project on the list. It's due for next summer. Let's show you what we got going on. We got a 1990 Chevy with a missing back window, so it's got a tarp on it. We just had the frame laser cleaned and painted. It's gonna get the rear end all swapped out for a 14 bolt. And currently, this one has nothing in it. So this is a cool project. Kind of started out as a bit of a budget build. We were going to do a Gen 4 LS in it with an NV4500 and a Super Duty front end. It kind of spiraled out of control there. Client asked me about turbo options, and I said, well, that's not really a budget build. So for what they're doing, and I'm not going to get into that too much, I recommend it if you need a turbo. We're talking about elevation problems for forced aspiration. I said, let's just go turbo diesel. It was the conversation at the beginning, and we kind of tried to hit the budget mark instead. So now, as everything spirals out of control, the customer picked up a different motor. We've pulled the LS out, and it's for sale. And now we've got a 4-cylinder Cummins on the ground, ready to go in. We are waiting on some parts. I've got flywheel, clutch. What else we got? We're doing bottom end bearings, new oil pan. It was caved in. A pickup tube was damaged. We're doing main studs and connecting rod bolts from ARP. And then we're going to flip the motor and mount it in there probably. And after that, we'll think about the top end stuff. We'll start doing head studs, governor springs, valve springs, probably bump up the lift pressure a bit with an overflow valve, and make this thing scream. We're shooting for about 300 horsepower out of a 3.9 liter diesel, and I think that'll really toss this thing around pretty good. So I've just mocked up the factory F350 coil mounts in here for now. They're probably going to have to move with the added weight of the 4BT. And we've done some custom radius arms here. I just finished getting the upper link lengths and caster angle locked in. I'm gonna weld these up soon and paint them before it rusts, but our weather's looking pretty good. It's windy and dry for a couple weeks. Right on, so that's my shop. That's what I do for a living. Don't mind that one, that's my father-in-law's. No idea what we're doing with that one yet. And that's my dinghy. We'll cover that another day. I need to get a motor for it. And I'll just do a little tour through the yard. I still gotta go get my truck from the boat launch. This was just me walking by the shop. All right, let's go get my truck. I gotta take all the screws out of all the wood panels and stuff. There's a bunch of aluminum brackets. Gotta separate all that, put all the wood and burnable stuff into the burn pile here for the fall. And I guess scrap most of the other shit or keep it on the shelf. So this house here is now kind of just it's our commercial building. Chelsea does all her sewing and stuff for her business in there. My mother-in-law, Sonia, she's in there. She does quilting and various other crafts and things for business. They don't live in there anymore. They built a beautiful cabin. And we're gonna give you just a little bit of taste of that one, because that one needs its own video. Pretty remarkable. Guarantee you've never seen anything like it. And yeah, here's a couple sneak peeks. And smash that subscribe button, because we're so close. We're at 970 subscribers. We got all the watch hours we need. I'm 30 subscribers away from starting to get an income on YouTube. What that income looks like, I don't know, but 30 cents, $1, I'd be pretty excited. So please, guys, hit that button. We really appreciate you being here. And it just makes it all worth doing when you guys support us and comment and like. It makes it all worth doing. And yeah, we kind of started this just for our family and friends, because we moved so far away from town. And it looks like there's more people interested than just family and friends of what we're up to. All right, so we got the bush truck back. I'm gonna go wander up to the other cabin, give you guys that sneak peek. Pretty special place. So one of the coolest things about this property is we are surrounded by water. We're not quite an island. You could call it a peninsula. We got 3 sides of ocean, and then between our house and the rest of the property, it's a massive pond and creek system. We've got a couple little bridges on it and stuff. We got Jay's Land Rover behind us. I don't know what the fuck he's doing with the shit on the hood there. Can't keep up with that guy. But anyway, here we go. This is nuts. So his current project right now is this fireplace. I've been doing all the brackets and welding, and he's been working on a floor. He's gonna do a wood floor out here and close this carport in. It's gonna be pretty magnificent. This is insane. The inside's just as insane. He's got a beautiful wood cook stove, another big rock wall. But that's it, they're not home. I'm not gonna wander around in their house. That's another video. And if you wanna see it, hit that button. Come on. Seriously, thanks for watching. Don't really care if you hit the button or not. We'll get there. Appreciate you all.